In my last video, I discussed the roles and responsibilities of councillors, but I didn't explain how those are put into practice. So in this video, I'm diving deeper into the weeds of municipal councillors' activities. First, we're going to look at council meetings, and then we're going to consider how councillors fulfill their responsibilities as board and committee members. Finally, I'll point to important practices outside of the township office that voters should be aware of. To begin, let's review the broad expectations of a councillor. In Selwyn Township, we have 5 council members, 1 representative from each of the wards, Ennismore, Layfield, and Smith, as well as 1 reeve and 1 deputy reeve. Each councillor has 3 main roles. First, they must represent the people of the township in their decision-making by identifying problems and deliberating the underlying circumstances, and then deciding how to move forward. Second, councillors make policy, and to do this, they establish principles, objectives, and goals that determine the future activities of the municipality. Third, councillors are stewards, meaning they are responsible for ensuring the municipal financial and administrative resources are used efficiently and responsibly. But when, where, and how are these duties put into practice? In general, this occurs across council meetings, board meetings, and committee meetings. Council meetings occur when members of council get together with staff representatives to discuss a variety of issues impacting the municipality. The powers of a municipality are predominantly exercised through bylaws. These are laws created by the township and are carried out within its boundaries. Council meetings are the place where bylaws are suggested, considered, passed, or declined, contested, and updated. The other important forums for councillors to exercise their duties is through participation on boards and committees. Selwyn's councillors participate in these forums either alone or with another councillor and take their insights back to council meetings. However, the extent of their participation and the power in these spaces depends on the type of board, the mandated roles, and if the township provides direct or indirect oversight. Let's look at boards first. In my first video, I explained the purpose of municipalities and the different types of municipal governance structures in Ontario. Well, while municipalities were deemed the most important government body under the concept of local government, they're not the only governing body. The other governing bodies are classified as special purpose bodies, and they're established and operate under the direction of the provincial or federal government, and municipalities work in partnership with them to share resources and attend to different policy areas that neither can do on their own. Selwyn Township helps orchestrate a library board and the Smith-Ennismore Police Services Board. Both are distinct governing bodies established under separate pieces of provincial legislation. For example, Ontario's Public Library Act requires the governance of libraries to include partnership with municipalities in Ontario, which they're located. In turn, selected township staff, council representatives come together with persons from Selwyn's 3 libraries to make decisions regarding the library services, budgeting, and to strategically plan for the future. For the police board, staff and council representatives advise Ontario Provincial Police regarding their services in our boundaries. Through participation with Peterborough County Council, our reeve and deputy reeves sit on other boards which are under the direct authority of Peterborough County, such as the county's finance committee. Additionally, Selwyn's reeve and deputy reeves sit on special purpose bodies because our township falls within the area that those special purpose bodies carry out their duties. So, for example, the Ontario Regional Conservation Authority Board, a body that oversees natural resources and watershed protection and conservation. Here, our township provides funding and holds stake in the Conservation Authority, and in return gains both financial and intangible resources such as important data like soil and flood zone mapping, and these help with our planning and development. You might ask, aside from legal requirements, why do we have councillors sitting on these boards? Well, the short answer is money. In next week's video, I will be breaking down your property tax dollars at work, and this will illustrate that when councillors sit on these boards, they are assisting in making important decisions, which usually have a hefty price tag. So, as stewards of municipalities' financial resources, their participation is required by the province, and it's very important to ensure that we get the most bang for our buck. Now, let's look at committees. Committees in general are advisory mechanisms on specific issue areas or projects. By this I mean it's a formal space where specific councillors and staff come together and discuss focused subject matter that is impacting the community. And ultimately, the information discussed or the decisions made in these groups goes back to council meetings and helps shape the broader decisions for the township. Selwyn directly orchestrates 3 different types of committees: standing committees, advisory committees, and ad hoc committees. Standing committees are the most formal of the committee types because they are usually required by legislation and focus on permanent elements of our municipality that require specific attention. In Selwyn, councillors sit on the following committees. The Committee of Adjustment, which considers and where agreed upon, grants minor variances from the township's zoning bylaws and provides permit changes. The Economic Development and Business Committee looks at business attraction, retention and expansion, marketing and tourism, and facilitates collaboration with community partners. Finally, the Heritage Committee considers heritage conservation and other significant factors of landmarks in our township. Compared to standing committees, advisory committees are usually a response to the needs of the community and are formally established through a township resolution. Our council members sit on the following advisory committees. The Trails Advisory Committee considers sustainability and beautification of our township and assists with developing the cycling and walking trail system that connects Smith, Ennismore, and Lakefield. The Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee carries out recommendations found in Selwyn's 2012 Recreational Services Plan with, you guessed it, Parks and Recreation focus. And the Accessibility Advisory Committee informs the Township and County Council about accessibility concerns and provides recommendations to reduce barriers for accessibility. Finally, Selwyn has 3 working groups, also called ad hoc committees. These committees are established by council and are designed to be short-term but reflect timely and influential activities. These include the Wild Rice Working Group, the Short-Term Rental Stakeholder Consultation Group, and the Building and Planning Ad Hoc Committee. Sometimes ad hoc issues become salient and result in ad hoc committees transforming into advisory councils or even standing committees. Further, these committees tend to have very political debates that result in tensions that arise across the township. One last important aspect is that councillors are always, in one form or another, exercising their duty to represent the people outside of the formal meetings. For example, you might see your ward councillor at a local community parade or annual event. Here, councillors should not just show up for publicity. These events provide informal spaces to talk with residents and get a feel about any concerns that they may have. Additionally, you can tell how invested and passionate a councillor is about their community if they are actively organizing or attending public events beyond council chambers. An indication of how active and attentive a candidate will be as a councillor is usually demonstrated during their campaign. So when casting your vote, consider how invested the candidate on your ballots have been in reaching you and what issues are important to them. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Thanks for watching. I hope this information has been helpful. Did you like the content? Over the course of my campaign, I'll be releasing more short videos diving into the important facets of municipal government and politics in our township. The goal is to educate others, make municipal politics more engaging, and promote my campaign ahead of the 2022 Selwyn Township election. Want to know more about what I have to offer? Add a comment. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to make others aware.